Hello everyone, my name is Mini Sethi. I hope you all are staying healthy. Today we are going to talk about Big Push theory of economic development for UGC NET. This theory is given by Paul Rosenstein Rudan, and this theory believe on big push in form of large investment. This theory believe on big push in form of large investment. According to this theory, big push, or we can say the big comprehensive investment, can only help in growth of underdeveloped countries. And bit by bit investment in underdeveloped countries is just a waste of resources. For example, you open any small scale industry in underdeveloped countries, but there is no electricity, no roads, no water supply, no railways, and no proper communication system. Do you think your industry will work here? Never. That's why first of all government need to do big comprehensive investment on infrastructure. For example, government need to do big comprehensive investment on roads, water, railways, communication system. Eventually this investment will promote growth of small scale industry. That's why according to this investment, only big comprehensive investment can help in growth of underdeveloped countries, and bit by bit investment, or we can say small investment, is just a waste of resources. In this theory, Rosenstein Rodan talks about three types of individualities. What do you mean by individualities? Individualities means impossible to divide between small part. It will be work simultaneously in large. And first individuality is in production function. As we know, when we do production at large scale, we receive some economies. But in this theory, Rosenstein Rodan give importance to economies which arises from social overhead capital. Social overhead capital means investment on power, transport, communication and roads. For example, government of country provide electricity at very cheap rate. Eventually, it will promote growth of so many small scale industry. Growth of so many small scale industry because of investment on social overhead capital will be called economies that arises from social overhead capital. Next is individualities of demand. According to this, a single industry cannot create any demand. Yes, this is absolutely true. Single industry cannot create any demand. That's why in order to create demand, we need to establish so many interdependent industries simultaneously. For example, we need to establish tea, TV, cloth and biscuit industries simultaneously. In order to produce, these industries will hire so many people. As a result, employment will increase in economy. As employment increase, income will also increase. As income increase, demand will also increase. Some people will buy tea, some people will buy TV, some people will buy clothes, some people will buy biscuit. And this increase in demand will motivate producer to produce more. As a result, more production will increase in economy. As more production increase, in order to produce, people need employees, so they will hire more employees. Employment will increase in economy. As employment increase, income will also increase. Eventually our economy will grow. But single industry cannot create any demand. We need to establish so many interdependent industries simultaneously. Now with the help of this diagram, we will understand individualities of demand. First of all, we will see when only single industry is operating. As we know, single industry cannot create any demand in economy. In this diagram, on x-axis we have quantities, y-axis we have prices, MR is marginal revenue curve, D is demand curve, that is equal to AR. AR means average revenue or income. AC is average cost, MC is marginal cost. Initially only single industry is operating, that's why less investment, less production. Production is equal to OQ. Less production, less demand in economy. Because of less demand, prices are very low, that is equal to OP. Initially cost is equal to SQ. You can see our average cost is equal to SQ. This S point touches our average cost curve. So our average cost is equal to SQ and average revenue is equal to TQ. Here you can say SQ is more than TQ. That means average cost is more than average revenue. When we minus TQ from XQ, that means when we minus average revenue from average cost remaining, ST part will be called loss of single industry. As we know, this ST is equal to RP. This whole part PRST will be called total loss of single industry. If single industry is getting loss, not receiving any profit, then how can they increase their production? If they will not increase their production, then how can employment will increase in economy? If there is no employment, that is no income in economy. If there is no income, then how can demand will create in economy? So we can say single industry cannot create any demand in economy. Now suppose so many interdependent industries has been established. As a result, our quantity increase. Now our quantity is OQ2 and MR2 is new margin revenue curve. D2 and AR2 is new demand curve and average revenue curve. Here you can see our average revenue is equal to R1 Q2 and average cost is T1 Q2. Here you can see average revenue is more than average cost. You can see R1 Q2 is more than T1 Q2. That means our revenue, or we can say average revenue, is more than average cost. When we minus average cost from average revenue, means when we minus T1 Q2 from R1 Q2 remaining R1 T1, this part will be called our profit. R1 T1 is equal to P2K. So we can this whole part K P2 R1 T1, this whole part will be called a profit of interdependent industries. If interdependent industries are earning a profit, that means they will increase their production. As production increase, employment will also increase. As employment increase, income increase, demand will also increase in economy. So we can say single industry cannot create any demand, but so many interdependent industry can create any demand. As a result, our economy can grow. Next is indivisibilities of saving. As we know, investment is very important for our economic growth, but investment depend on saving. In underdeveloped countries have a lack of saving. That's why according to this theory, in underdeveloped countries, as their income increase, their marginal propensity to save should also increase. Means as their income increase, their saving should also increase. MPS means marginal propensity to save, means how much our saving increase due to increase in income. APS means average propensity to save, means how much part of our income we save. According to this theory, in underdeveloped country, APS should be less than MPS, means MPS should be more than APS. There is same thing. Because when saving increase, investment will also increase in economy. As investment increase, production increase, employment increase, income increase, and eventually our economy will grow. So saving is very important because our investment depend on saving. So according to this theory, in underdeveloped country, their saving should increase as their income increase. Now we are going to talk about criticism of this theory. Ignore economies from export. According to this theory, we can get economies from social overhead capital, but we can also get economies from export. But this theory ignore economies from export. Neglect investment on agriculture sector. Agriculture sector also very important, but this theory only says we should do investment on industrial sector and ignore investment on agriculture sector. Inflationary pressure. According to this theory, underdeveloped countries should do large investment, but they have lack of fund. From where they will get a fund for investment? They will take loans from foreign, or they can print new notes, but it will increase inflationary pressure. Administrative and institutional difficulties. In underdeveloped country, private and government sector compete with each other. As we know, in order to grow, private and government sector should cooperate with each other. But this theory ignore this concept, and it is not historical fact. There is no any historical evidence big push can increase economic growth. So this is all about big push theory. I think you got it, and thank you so much for watching this video. Bye. Take care.